fuck was that?
Welcome to What the Fuck Did I Dream Last Night? I'm Janie.
I'm Jess. Hi, guys. Take two.
Take two. Haynes, we literally started recording, and I said, I normally just wait a little bit when we start recording because something like, I don't know, I just feel like we can't start as soon as I hit record.
Yeah,
And I
or
should
I
have
get
waited a little bit
awkward.
longer because Haynes' doorbell rang, and then the dog was going.
And then my husband thought we got food delivered, like, by accident. So then we got really stoked, but it was just a package.
Yeah, he comes upstairs, he's like, "Did you order food?" No.
Nope, I wish. Damn.
That's sad.
Yes. But what, episode 30?
Episode 30.
Pretty stoked about it.
Yes. I can't believe I'm also proud. I'm proud that we didn't give up.
30. 30.
So I had a dream about my baby, like my baby, like the baby that's inside of me right now.
Yes, your
Baby.
child.
Like I saw her when she was born, and she had like dark. What are you looking at?
That's cool.
Oh,
Nothing.
she had dark curly hair. So I'm gonna start keeping tabs, like if I have any more dreams about like what she looks like, and then like we can compare those notes to what like she will look like.
That's pretty cool.
Uh-huh.
Huh. Did you have dreams about what Molly looked like? Do you remember?
No, I never had a dream where I could see her. Like I never gave birth to her and then like I had her. And even I know I didn't share the one like pregnancy dream. I think I'm going to share it with Trevor on here because I think it'd be fun for him to interact with it.
Yeah.
But I like even in those dreams, like I didn't have like I never see the baby. Like really, like when I go to the baby, like I wake up or it's the end of the dream, I don't see it. So this one I was like, and it was just like I don't even know what the whole dream was, but she was in like a swaddle that I bought, like that I did like recently just buy like just for her. And I like took her off my mother-in-law. I was like, I'll take her.
Oh.
She just had a bunch of like dark curly hair.
Do you remember what her face like? Did you see her face or you just remember her
Yeah,
hair?
it was just like a baby. Like I know that
Right.
sounds terrible, but like it was
No,
just
because you don't have a
baby.
memory of her yet, besides
Yeah.
like by recognition like that. So that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's exciting.
So that happened.
And you just recently dyed your hair dark. I wonder if that had
Yeah, I
anything
feel
to
like
do with
that
it.
triggered it because I have dark
Yeah.
hair now.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. And Molly's hair is getting like very curly.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it was just like that type of thing.
Speaking of hair, so if you guys have been following along, I've had a lot of dreams about missing my hairstylist,
I literally
Allie.
colored my hair like the day after we recorded.
I keep having dreams about like getting my hair because my natural color is pretty much completely grown out now with COVID. But I used to like dye it some form of blonde, and so I kept dreaming about it. So I made a hair appointment finally. So June 6th we'll be reunited. So
Because I went out this weekend and I never go out, so this is exciting.
it was role reversal. I was getting your snaps.
I went to drag queen bingo. Oh my gosh. It was so much fun. So much fun.
Where was it?
A Yukon Fire Hall. Like
I was like cracking up because like so fire halls are a big thing where we grew up in Western Pennsylvania. Like people just have events at fire halls, and what it is, it's like
a fundraiser because like our like people that are coming, if your house is on fire, like it's all volunteers that are coming. Like they don't get paid to do it.
right.
And that's how it is all around here.
Yeah, so but it's like so it's like a fire hall. Oh, it's like, the fire station, and then there's like a hall attached next to it. And it's just funny because over the years, like such various events are hosted in these halls.
And like people have fire hall weddings and everything.
Yeah, like it's very normal. And you can really like a lot like some of them look pretty run down, other ones they're like newly remodeled. You can look really nice. Like just like an empty, big like room to like host different parties in. But people do like baby showers,
I had one of these baby showers
Christmas
at a fire
parties,
hall.
Santa Claus, Easter bunnies,
Uh-huh.
and so that's kind of like, and then like there's a lot of bars like in fire halls or like attached to fire halls.
That you have to be a member to.
Yeah, so like that's like my percent. Like when I think of a fire hall, I think of like a fire hall wedding or like a bar. And
Mhm.
then so she goes, and this video, like she like was Snapchatting me, and it's like bingo, which I've gone to bingo in like fire halls before, like
Mhm.
the Moose or version of. And it's your typical kind of like a little rundown fire hall, it's been a little seasoned through the years with she sends me like a bingo card, and then there's,
I
like
had my daughter that I bought, it had, like, it was like a hunky man on it. It said, like, and it had his name was Steven, was, like, my bingo daughter too.
oh my god, and there's like this lovely drag queen like right in the background. Like this is awesome. But are you in a fire hall?
It was so cool though, because like, they do, like okay, well, first
They
off,
looked damn good. They looked
I don't
I think
understand.
that was it. They looked so good, and then they were like in this fire hall. I was like cracking up because I felt like they needed to be on like a big stage. I mean, they looked amazing from who I saw.
And I spent so much money because when I go to, like, fire hall events like that are fundraisers for the firemen, I
Right.
have, like and I'm not drinking, so I was like, "Oh, I'm not drinking, so, like, here's my alcohol money, too." But meanwhile, like, buying drinks at a fire hall are so
Oh
dirt
my god,
cheap.
they're so cheap. They're like $1.50
Yeah.
for like the
Um,
expensive beer,
like,
like the
getting a
Michelob.
shot is, like, $2.
Mhm.
And they're small shots, but still, it's, like, $2 for a shot of alcohol.
If we went in one that listens, like, in Manhattan, they're like, "Shit." Like New York City.
And,
Like,
like, the one thing
"I'm
is, though,
moving to Pittsburgh."
you have to know somebody to join, like, not know someone, like, in the fire, but you have to, like a lot of them are you have to get signed in by somebody at least like 2 or 3 times, and then you can put an application in to join, which it sounds like really long, but sometimes there are like the one near my house I was able to join. And then there's like another one that's like I couldn't join because I don't know anyone that goes there, but I was like really close to it at my old house, and I was like, oh, okay, can't go there.
And
But
then memberships are like $20 a year or
it's
something, like,
nothing.
it's not an exclusive club.
No, but
Yeah.
it's great. I love it. Um, but it's really cool. Like, okay, so if you ever have a chance to go to one, like, go.
Oh,
Like, because
yeah.
they do it for fundraisers, and like you tip the girls, and they're raising money for charities too. Like they were like
Mhm.
charities. Um, and they like so you play a game of bingo, and then they perform a show. Like they do like they perform a numbers. Like one girl comes out, they introduce her, and she just dances all around. And then like you can hold like money over like people's heads, and they'll come over. They're like, "Yeah, we'll embarrass you a little bit. We'll give you a lap dance. We'll grab your boobs, like all of this
Oh
stuff."
my god.
Um,
So was it all women there?
there were a couple guys too,
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
'Cause
but it
I
was
saw, like,
mostly
mostly
women.
women. I didn't know if that was, like, a rule or
Yeah.
something. I didn't know. That's too
Um.
funny. The
So
the
like,
the guys who were there probably got tortured.
oh, they did. Oh,
Yeah.
they did. And it's like a 21. Oh, like you had to be 21 to go to the event and
Okay,
everything.
yeah, that's what I think the whole fire hall thing is just, like, really throwing me off.
Um. So like they come over, we did like my aunt first, and Nicole's holding money over her, and like the girl was like, "Can I grab your boobs?" And like she grabbed hers. Then they did it to me, and I got full on kissed by a drag queen, and I was not ready. I was not prepared.
Oh my on the
I didn't
lips?
know what was yes, I
Ew,
have the photo. I have makeup on my teeth.
ew, COVID.
I
Ew.
thought I was like so, and they were like talking about like who's all double vaccinated, and the girl that kissed me also raised her hand that she was double vaccinated. And I go, well, I guess apparently
There
that's
are people
okay.
around kissing people, shit.
I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I was
Was
I
anybody
like
wearing masks?
no, this was like a very like
Well,
hippie
yeah,
town.
but it was
COVID
just
didn't
very funny to like it's so funny because I wouldn't even like think about that until now. I'm like, Ew, what about COVID? Ew.
No, like, she grabbed my head and, like, stuck it, like, on her, like, boobs, and I was like, "Oh, like, whatever," like, laughing. Then I had my
Right.
head back laughing, and I was not prepared.
I wouldn't.
I
I don't even know. Like just anybody. I wouldn't. That's very
Maybe
intimate.
I'll post the picture on our Patreon, because the picture I took of, like, with the makeup on my teeth and everything, I look no, it
Oh,
wouldn't.
that's what that was.
Yes.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I'll post
So
it on
funny.
Patreon for you guys. Yeah, that was interesting. But besides being kissed and not I don't know. COVID has me all weird. I'm sure I've done worse things being drunk, but I was also very sober and just not I didn't know what to
Yeah,
do.
why do you just get random makeup on your face
Why?
when you get drunk? You know, random makeup on your face.
No, I meant like I've done work. Oh, are you bringing up a story?
Yes.
Okay. There was a time.
We've all had a time.
I mean, I feel like everyone's been to
I know, but
college.
I forgot about that story till now, and I wish I had a picture of it so I could put it side by side.
Basically, there was a Halloween party one time. I was a green crayon, and there was a vampire, and I kissed the vampire.
I forgot you were a green crayon, but the vampire had his face like painted white, and when
He
we
was
were
either a vampire or like the Joker or
he was
something.
like a vampire because it was like Dracula, and he had like white face paint on, so it was like we like looked away for like a minute or something, then we like looked back, and Janie just had like white face paint on her face, and this guy's standing next to her, and we're like, Janie, do you have something to tell us? And he like didn't fess up to it immediately. It was really good. It was like when a child like takes like the last cookie or something, they're like, no, and like cookie crumbs like fall out of their mouth. Oh shit.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so now
It
if
was
I see
pretty
like
rough.
thick makeup or face paint, I'm gonna steer you away. Sober or drunk, apparently.
I mean, I thought I was over. I thought
Yeah.
those days were behind me.
You'd think the pregnant one of the group would be like safe. Now I gotta watch on Dirty 30. I
So
gotta watch you, man.
I was texting my husband all of this stuff that was happening. And then I sent him that photo and things. And then we go, because he was watching my cousin's kids and I was the DD. So I go to pick them up. And I was like, and he would not kiss me. He goes, "Good thing you just bought new mouthwash." I was like, I know. I was like, and it wasn't like the girl wasn't dirty or anything. It was just the
No.
fact that it was COVID, and I just wasn't. And COVID just has your mind so programmed
So
to.
funny. Oh
I
my
just was not
god.
prepared.
I was
Then I
not
had to pull up,
like
like,
your
I was on their
first kiss
Facebook.
when
I
you're a
pulled it up. I was
teenager.
like, "This is who I kissed."
Oh my god. It's so good.
Yeah, that happened.
Oh
Well,
shit. Well, crazy mom night out.
Yup, yup, yup. Okay, so let's just move on to my dream now.
Yeah, did that
After
make for any good dreams?
No, I didn't have it. No.
That's
Now
pro-
tonight will be the night that I'll be dreaming of like a vampire and the all out. Yeah, we'll see. See what next week holds.
hmm.
Okay. Wow. I did not know that we were going to go into like making out with vampires on this time, but hey, things happen.
You're welcome.
Yeah. All right. On that note, this dream is called Work Photos. All right. So
Noted.
I'm at I know, felt like I needed a pause, but it wasn't a good name.
Dramatic effect.
Didn't deserve a reaction or anything. So I'm at work, and now this place has like the management that I have worked for in the past. It seems, um, and the place that I'm working at giving me like Dollar General vibes. It kind of seems like I just got like rehired. Like I left there before, and I got rehired by them.
Mhm.
And it's Easter Sunday, and I'm working. I've worked many Easters in my life, so this
Mhm.
is nothing new to me. Um, so since I was like rehired, I like knew everything that I was supposed to be doing, and my coworkers like they kept asking me for like help or whatnot, and it was just like asking me like the stupidest questions, like things that like were common sense.
Mhm.
So I was just like getting annoyed. Um, I don't know exactly what they were asking, but like that was what I was getting in my dream.
Mhm.
So I pissed off my manager somehow, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I do this to you every Easter Sunday." I was like, "I make you mad somehow, and I don't even know like how I'm doing it."
Do you know
So
who your
it's like,
manager was in the dream?
no, I just know that
Damn.
like I had like a relationship with him, and like it wasn't like we didn't like each other. I just
Mhm.
always seemed to make him mad
Yeah.
then. So it's near closing time, and we had a few customers in there finishing up. So I'm like, just got to help clean up and keep busy and not get yelled at again here.
Mhm.
But all my coworkers kept coming up to me being like, "What should I be doing?" And I'm like, "Anything." I was like, "Just keep busy." Like, so I'm telling them to wipe this down, like sweep this, like yada yada, just bullshit, like little jobs. Like,
Mhm.
but I'm like, I'm not even the fucking manager.
It
Then,
happens a lot in jobs.
uh-huh. Then I told them all that, and I'm like, what the fuck should I do now? Like, I gave them all the jobs. Like, how am I supposed to look busy now? So earlier in the shift, we had to find some kind of food item that we could set up as bowling pins. No idea why, but like it was like a task that we had to do. Um, and I saw my one manager that was like fussing with that for like next time, I guess. Like
Mhm.
she was like trying to see if she could use these for next time. So all of a sudden, like all of these customers, like it was like a bus dropped them off or something. Like they all just are coming in, like they're coming through the back door with buggies. Like all these people are just coming on into the store, and I'm like, well,
Buggies are also known as shopping carts.
yes, going very, very Pittsburgh on you in this episode.
I will be your translator.
so, so I'm like just kind of saying, I'm like, geez, like what the fuck? I was like, all right, like whatever, like we got to do what we got to do. Like we're still open, like whatever.
Mhm.
And my coworkers are like, aren't we closed? Like, shouldn't we lock the door? And I'm like, I'm not the manager. Like, just keep working. Like, just please just keep working and stop asking me questions. So finally, everybody's in line and they're checking out. And then I have coworkers that are asking me, like, can I leave? And I'm like, no, like, you have to wait until
Man, this
everything
is a
is
bad
done.
crew you got.
And a manager tells you to leave. Like, and it was like, just, there was like a handful of us. I don't know. I don't know why people ask. I get in. I have been in this role multiple times
Yes.
in a lot of jobs that people ask me questions, and I'm like, I'm not who you should be asking. Like I do have the answers, but just try harder. Thank
Yeah.
you. Okay. Man, I sounded bitchy again.
No,
What the
no,
fuck?
I mean, that's I was actually just talking about this today with somebody, so that how that happens in jobs, you know? Sure everybody can relate to that, and if you're one of those people, get your shit together. Just kidding.
Okay. So finally my manager got off register. For some reason he was the one ringing register while we're all just running around like, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do?
That
Like one of
sounds
us should be ringing register.
that sounds about right. Yep. Yep.
Um, so finally he gets off the register and is like, sheesh. She's like, what the fuck? And I'm like,
Jeez.
yeah, he's like, it's because I said, it's because I'm here. And he's like, seriously, he's like, every time that like me and you were together, like shit like this happens. And like he wasn't mad anymore. Like it was just like whatever, like shit happens, move on. Like
Right.
we're cool. So we're all getting ready to leave, but we had to go get our photo taken, and it was at another place. And I didn't have a ride, like I guess I didn't have a car or anything. So I get into my coworker's car, and there's a ton of us piled in there.
Mhm.
Like there's 4 of us sitting up front, there's a bunch of us in the back. They kind of gave me like a big old like van vibes.
Mhm.
So the girl that's driving us, she's she's Chinese. And then there's another girl next to us, then there's me, and then there's the girl that's driving us mother on my right side, and she's also Chinese. And
Mhm.
this mom in my like when I was typing this, I was cracking up because I was getting like the feels like from my dream.
Mhm.
Um And the mom's like, "Yeah, I don't drive, like, I'm just here for the ride." But then she kept, like, talking really fast and, like, cracking these jokes and, like, wouldn't stop talking and was laughing, and I'm, like, laughing with her, and I was like, I'm sorry." I was like, "But I can't understand what you're saying, like, you need to talk a little bit, like, slower for me," because of her accent.
Right.
But I was like, "I can't stop laughing." I was like, "Just because your vibes are, like," she just had that, like, energy of, like, a happy, like,
Oh,
person,
yeah.
um and then she's like, "Oh, no, it's okay, dear, just have fun." Like, she just wanted me to have fun. I was like, "Okay," like,
Oh.
I don't know what's going on, but it's Easter Sunday still, I think, right? Um, so we get to this building for our photos, and it's, like, this huge, like, old mansion, but, like, a very, like, nice, just, like, old house mansion. We had to get to the top floor for them. So we're walking up in line, like, slowly, and there's, like, these beautiful, like, big chandeliers and just gorgeous lights.
Mhm.
Just a very pretty, like, old building. So we are finally at the top, and they call us into the room, and there are, like, a lot of tables, and we all pile into, like, the front 2, and we're sitting around, and we can, like, see, um I scrolled, and I lost it. So we're sitting around, you could see, like, over on the other side of the room, like, where they're taking the photos.
Mhm.
So they're like, "We're gonna call your name out, just let us know where you are, and we'll give you this paper. There's just a few things you have to fill out, and then we can get your photo done." So mine was first, and she was like, "Oh, are you Janie?" And she's like, "Perfect, here you go." And this paper is just like something that you would get in school for your school photos that, like, your parents would fill out
Mhm.
for picture day. Where, like, you could pick, like, what you wanna like, what package you wanna select to buy and whatever, and just some basic information. So, like, that was at the top of this paper, and I fill all that out, like, no problem,
Mhm.
whatever. But the last section had, like, maybe 8 questions or so, and you had to use this other paper to, like, fill out the answers. And the first question was like, "What is smaller than this blank?" And I'm like, "What? Like, what?" I have no idea. And, like, I'm trying so hard to, like, read this paper and focus on it and just answer these questions. And, like, it wouldn't sink in. Like, I had no idea what I was supposed to put. And I was so frazzled. And I was like, I can't answer these. Like, I don't know the answers to these questions. Um, Finally, like, to, like, the first one, like, I found the answer somehow. And I was like, "Oh, these tiny peanut butter Reese's cookies are smaller." So I put that there. So then, like, the
Mhm.
paper switched to, like, what you would fill out for, like, a fundraiser, like, when you're buying something.
Mhm.
All the fundraiser talk today. Clearly just come to me and I will spend all the money on fundraisers. So I move on to the next question. I was getting worked up because everybody else is finishing and they're getting their photo taken, and I was the first one to get, my paper, and I couldn't figure it out. So I finally am like, "Listen, I don't understand this at all." So this girl comes over and she explained it to me. She's like, "Here's the food info here," and she's like, "The people are here, and, like, the answers are all, like, here that you need for this." And I was like, "Okay, like, I get it." She's like, "It shouldn't be, like, that hard." I was like, "Okay."
Sassy.
So frustrating because, like, I don't have like, I hate when you like, I have all the information right there, why can't I do it? 'Cause I can't read in my
Right.
dreams. I can read. Sorry. Um, so I, like, somehow I got the answer to number 2 really quickly, and I tried reading number 3, and I couldn't figure it out, and I was stuck again. So one man that was in charge was like, "All right, guys, if you finish getting your photo taken, you can head back down to your cars unless you have any questions." And I recall these, like, 2 guys, um, there was, like, the same 2 guys I, like, followed up the stairs like they were my coworkers,
Mhm.
and they're like, "Yeah, like, are these all real electric lights? Like, what are they?" And they were talking about, like, the chandeliers, and the guy did answer them, but when I, like, looked up, everybody was done and gone, and I was just the only one sitting there, like, still stressed out over these damn questions, and that's all I can remember. Like, that was the end of the dream.
That's so I've had dreams like that. That's like one of I hate those dreams where they're like test questions or some form of question and You don't know the answer? Ugh.
So that was the first time I've ever like really had it was like a test, but like why the hell was it a test on work questions? Like had nothing to do with I have no idea what all of that bullshit. I don't know. Now when I did read this again, I did just recently buy some stuff off a fundraiser for Easter candy. So which would make sense like that tying into like Easter Sunday. Bought fundraiser candy. There was another point in here that I thought something else came to my mind, but I don't remember. Clearly it wasn't that important, or I probably would have said it at that time. But I did look up just a couple things for it. I always have stress about like my old jobs and like the guilt of like, what ifs? Did I make the right move? Should I stayed there? Yada yada. So like, I think that's just where like the beginning of the dream comes from. And then I was on dreamstop.com and dreammeeting.online.
Interesting.
So,
.online seems like.
yeah, that's definitely what I know. I know. I knew you were gonna bring that up.
I don't know. I've never seen .online.
I don't know what that means. I don't know how like it, when I was on it, it said like not a secure source, but I liked what they were saying. So or not secure, like website not secure or something, whatever they say. So getting your photo taken in dreams means that you need to spend more time doing things that make you happy. You need to express yourself more openly without fear. Basically, don't hide yourself from the world and be you, which I like because I'm definitely trying to do that more right now.
Yeah.
Especially like being pregnant and everything. Hi, Miles.
Say hi to my dog.
there's
Getting all kinds of excitement this evening.
there's a lot happening tonight.
I know. Goodness.
Um. Oh, so I know I talked about cameras recently, but this one said too that cameras could be a sign of nostalgia, which makes a lot of sense to me. And then dreaming of a chandelier means that luck is on your side. It also mentioned that like it could be like with your relatives, like good relationships could be forming and like communication is good, like just stuff along that lines.
I like
But that's
that.
all I looked up for that.
I like that.
Me too.
So it's funny because I also have a work dream, part of it. That's why I kind of smiled a little bit because here we are making that link there. So my
We haven't made the
dream,
link in a while.
I know.
I like it.
My dream is entitled "My Time at DQ." So
Oh, have you ever worked at DQ?
no, G did. So I don't know if that's where I'm getting
Oh,
this
that's
from.
right. She did.
Yeah. I
I never
remember
worked at Dollar General.
remember thinking when she worked, I was like, man, that's great money. Like when she got her first paycheck, because I think it was before we had a job or something. Um, it might have been. I don't know, but I just remember, like, I remember talking about it. She got her first paycheck. We were like, oh my God, like when you're teenagers.
Uh-huh.
So the dream, I think this is probably a series of dreams through that night. Like this is just like what I remember before I like woke up for the first time. It was a night of very vivid dreaming. So Camden and it starts out we were in this city. So it was like like a downtown city, maybe downtown Pittsburgh or whatever. And we were like going out on a little like date, just kind of like an adventure. And we went to buy some drinks and we wanted like a vodka. And Chris Kramer was coming to visit us, like he does like in South Carolina, I guess. So I don't know what city it was, but so we were like going to trying to pick out a liquor that we wanted, and we picked this like really cheap vodka at first, and then we ended up picking this like other vodka that we get that's it's made in like Charleston, South Carolina. Now the name's escaping me, but that's what we picked. So we were like drinking this like vodka, like walking through the city, like Chris is with us, and I only had like one vodka drink, and
Do
I
you have it
was
in like a
like,
paper bag?
hmm?
Like You like drinking out of like a paper bag, like
Well, it was
like
like we bought like liquor at a liquor store. Like you would buy like a big bottle, and then it's like we went to a little establishment to like purchase a drink at a bar to drink. So like we never even actually drank the vodka
vodka.
that we bought in my dream.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I was like, "Oh, I can only have one. Like I work tonight. We have to get home." So we had to wrap the date up early. Chris like popped his head in to like come to the liquor store with us, and then he like disappeared.
He's gone.
He like didn't come to the bar with us, so I don't know what happened there. Um, so I was like, "Well, I have to go to work." So we got to get home. So I was starting my first night of work at Dairy Queen, and I was still like a PA, like I was a physician assistant during the week, but I was starting my new job at Dairy Queen on Saturday.
I love it.
So so it was Saturday, so I had to get there. And I guess it was a job that I like. So when I first moved to South Carolina from Pennsylvania, um, when you're in medicine, there's like a period of time called credentialing, and it takes up to like 3 months, where like a hospital can take longer, needs to like verify who you are with like a bunch of paperwork and just so there's not like randos taking care of
It's a
people, I
pain
guess.
forever.
Yeah, so it took a long time. So I was like freaking out that I was like, how am I going to have an income? So I was debating on applying for jobs like that we have only worked at a grocery store. I was like, I might need to work at like Starbucks, or like I don't know, but I might need a job like until
Yeah.
I can work my other
Just
job.
meet. Yeah.
So in this dream, I was like, I know like I have my full-time job, but I applied to this job at Dairy Queen when we first moved here, and like I really should see it out at least. Like I told them I'd work tonight, so like I need to
Like
get
you
there.
would do this.
So I was like, it's fine, like let's just like give it a shot. But it was snowing, so I guess I wasn't in South Carolina, and it was the hill. So the job that we used to work at was a grocery store called Giant Eagle in our hometown, and there was or like the main highway that leads to it's called Route 30. We've probably talked about Route 30 before, and it's just like terrible, with a lot of traffic. So there was like a hill that went down, and then it went up on Route 30 to like get to this grocery store, and it was snowing. And um it was so snowy, like I couldn't drive there. And this happened when I was in high school, and my husband, now my husband, but he was my boyfriend at the time, his parents, like I couldn't get out of my driveway, so they came and picked me up. They shouldn't have been driving either, but they said they were going to Sam's Club. So they would
You're
drop me
probably
off. So this happened in real life, where they were like swerving all over out. We were swerving all over Route 30. I was like one of like three people that made it to work at Shiny Gold that day. I don't know how I was getting home, but so I was there to serve. Um,
you can't call off for snow though. Not when you live in
no,
Pennsylvania.
I mean apparently
Like, what do you
people
do?
people were still freaking grocery shopping the nut bars.
I've called off, not called off for snow, but I have called in late. Like I've called them in. Like, I don't even do that anymore now. Like if it's snowing and I like just show up, they'll just be happy when you show up.
Yeah, like it's an
Like it's
expectation. So
whatever.
I got there. But in my dream, it was the same hill, and I was walking um like down this hill, or down the hill, then like up the hill, and there was this group of like three boys, and it was just by myself. I guess my husband was like, "Okay, bye." So these three boys were behind me, and they looked to be maybe in their like late 20s to 30s, so kind of similar age, and they were kind of like
Mhm.
following me, and I was like, just kind of like looking behind me, because I'm like, this is weird. Like the roads are snowy, there's like nobody out here, like whoever was out was like walking. There were like no cars, because like nobody could
Yeah.
walk on the snow. And then finally I like went down this hill like on my belly, like a penguin would down the snow. Like belly first, belly flopped to like slide down the hill, but I went really, really slow, and it was like really anticlimactic, and these boys were like so behind me, and they like tried to do the same thing, and I was like, well, that kind of sucked, huh? So then we all like laughed. So they were like my new travel buddies. So I finally made it to like,
Let's go to the Dairy Queen.
well, it was like I was walking to Giant Eagle, but my end destination was Dairy Queen. So I was walking, I was finally at the hill right before Giant Eagle in real life, but it was going to Dairy Queen. And there were these two children walking along the road, and they were these two like young black kids that I like knew really well in my dream, and I was like very protective of them. And I was like, "What are you guys doing out here? Like it's snowing." And they didn't like they just didn't think it was a big deal. I guess they didn't say anything back. Well, then like it was either a bus or like a jet. I think it was like an airplane like landed like really abruptly, like right next to them, but it was functioning like a bus, like at a bus stop. And I was like, "Guys, like, watch out." So I, like, grabbed them like how you would if a child was, like, walking next to too close to the road on a sidewalk, and you, like, push them
Yeah.
away from the road. So I, like, put my arm, like, out to, like, scooch them away. They looked like they were maybe, like, the boy was, like, 4 years old, and the girl was maybe, like, 10 years old or something. I was like, "You guys can't be out here, like, come on." And I, like, grabbed their hands, and I, like, walked them to the Dairy Queen with me and like very protective of them. So
Now you must sit here the whole time while I work.
yeah, so I got to get to the Dairy Queen and I put them in a booth and we were just like chit chatting a little bit and then I see I think G's there and her little brother Brandon's there and we were talking and I was like, "What's up, guys?" I was like, "I got a minute." Like, I'll sit in the so I sat in the booth and talked with them. I was like, "Yeah, like I just applied for this job, so I figured, like I'm just gonna give it a shot, and just see how it goes and, just gonna kind of have fun with it." And I haven't punched in yet. Like, haven't my shift has started like 15 minutes ago. And then like my old college roommate was there, like I think Kelsey was there, and like some other people either from college or high school, like you see random faces.
Yeah.
And like you were there, like I was like everybody was there, and we're just like, "Hey guys," I'm like, "Yeah, like I'm starting my job here, guys. Like today's my first day." Again, haven't said hello to my boss. I'm just socializing. So then my
This is also a very PA thing, like, "Oh, it's winter, it's blizzard. Let's go get some ice cream,
right.
y'all."
So finally my Dairy Queen boss, after I'm like not bragging, but kind of like bragging about like, yeah, like I work here now. This is my first, just kind of like updating. It seems like everybody important in my life or like everybody I knew at that time. The manager, my manager walks out with actually the doctor I work with now. So like who I see, kind of as my boss basically.
Yeah.
He's there too. And so is like the electrophysiology doctor's there too. And they're like, they at one point, they were like, "What are you doing here?" Like, they were there to get ice cream. I was like, "Oh, this is my
Mhm.
new job. Like, I'm still working with you guys, but" and,
I wanna work
they
at
were
Dairy
like,
Queen too.
I don't know about this, Jess," and I was like, "That's fine." Well, they were there too watching all this unroll. Well, my new manager, like, walks down the hall and is like, "Hey, yeah, like, your shift started, like, over 30 minutes ago. I don't think this is gonna work out." And, like, fired me. Before I even started my job, like in front of my current boss, and I was just like, "Shit, okay, that makes sense."
That's fair. That's fair.
I
It's
don't know if I
valid.
got like a milkshake or like an ice cream cone. I was like disappointed in myself, but I wasn't like upset because I think I knew I was like gonna fail at it.
You're probably like, "Oh, man, okay, well, I'm gonna go home and drink that vodka that I bought then because I only had one drink before I came
And
here."
he like knew. I think I like knew that he like saw me through this because I think at one point I remember the person who was like supposed to train me was like, "Hey, do you want to get back here and like help us?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll be there in a minute." So my time there ended. Um, and
Time ended before it even
right,
started.
so then it was like time to go home. So we go back to our apartment, which I think it was in my old apartment, which is funny because we say we never dream about our old places.
Yeah.
It was my college apartment that Cam and I lived in on like Robinson Street for like a year or two. In Robinson Street, It's this somewhat steep hill in Pittsburgh. And it's like just like right in the city. It's not very up, it's pretty urban. Kind of run down part of town. So that's where our apartment was, and it wasn't the same apartment, but it was definitely that road. And so Cam and I were in there just kind of just hanging out. I don't really know what we were doing, but Cam had to go somewhere. So it was just me. And there was this group of kids outside of our apartment, and it was like a 2-level apart. It was almost like a little townhouse. It was 2 levels, and there was like this wooden deck on the top, like really like beat down wood, probably need to replace. So I was like up there, and these kids were out front, like just kind of like causing a ruckus and just kind of being jerks, like. And I was playing music on my top deck, and the one guy was just like, "God, that music's like such shit," like, just really bashing my music. And I was just like, "Shut up, man." Well, then he ended up like he started like hitting my deck. Well, then the deck like fell off of the apartment.
Oh,
It just
man.
like like it was like dry rotted, and he was like hitting it, so it just like collapsed and fell. And he was like, "Shit, like I'm so sorry. Oh my god, I'm gonna go to Home Depot right now and replace it." And they were dressed like how like emo kids would be like back when we were growing up. So like
Yeah.
um which would be like kind of like dark, like baggy jeans and like gelled, like spiked hair and like colored. And they tried to look like real hard, but then as soon as and they look like to be maybe like teenagers. So when this happened, he was just like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna go to Home Depot right now. I think it's like $400 to replace that part. Um, but I'm gonna go there." And they went, and I was like, and the girls with them were like, "Oh my god, he feels really bad. We're really sorry." I was like, "It's all right. It's all good." So in the meantime, I was going to take my dog for a walk in the park across the street. It was like this little like central area in the middle of the city, and I was with my brother and somebody else, and it was snowing again, and I had to pick up my dog's poop like in the snow, and I was like trying to pick up the poop like with a bag, and one lady came up to me and was like, "Hey, you're not going to throw that dog poop away in the garbage cans right here, are you? Because some of us have to live here, you know." And I was like, "Oh, no, like I wouldn't do that. I live here too. Like I'll just go throw it away in my apartment." She's like, "Okay, good." And like walked away. I guess she didn't want it like stinking up the place. And I was walking around the neighborhood the other day, and I realized now there's some garbage cans like dispersed throughout the neighborhood that weren't always there. And I was very torn. Like, do I throw my dog's poop away in that garbage can, or do I take it back to my own house? So
I feel like that's fair game.
I agree, but I was apparently more concerned about it. I think I brought it back to my house in real life. So, and then it translated into my dream. I didn't realize how worried I was over it, but I guess I was.
Oh, man.
Yep. So then the dream finishes where we are in it's like we're on this class trip now, and there's like a bunch of us in this kind of like almost like basement looking room. And it reminds me of this brewery that's in Pittsburgh that's kind of just like in this big like open room that's like cemented and just nothing fancy. It's like very little effort
Mhm.
made. um, so we were all in there, and there's just like rows of like tables, and it was like a freaking free for all. It was like almost like a shelter type place, and we were supposed to get on a school bus to like go somewhere and leave, but I missed the school bus, and then it was like we were stranded there. So there were a bunch of us just like searching for like food and like juice and like water, and it was supposed to be like a cup, like a jar was next to like this juice, and it was like, pay $1 for it, like honor
Yeah.
system. And I was like, screw that. I know, it's like the apocalypse right now. Like, like everyone's like every man for themselves, and everyone's just like freaking like rummaging to like get food and water and juice. And I remember at one point, I think like another bus came, and I wrote down in my notes, uh we were going to a basketball game, and I feel like I think I'm going to a lot of basketball games in my dream. I don't know if that was actually it or if my brain's connecting the gaps. But I was like, "Oh, I know I don't I wonder if I can just wear my bra there," but I didn't know if that was allowed, and then I woke up.
You also have issues about like what you're supposed to be wearing to these games because the last one you're supposed to, if you wore like the special jersey, you could
Yeah,
control
like a green
players.
had to be that green shirt.
Yeah.
And I'm always very worried about what's allowed and what's not, and, like, what's appropriate. Because in, my dream where I lost the sleep mask, I asked the teacher, "Can you make an announcement if anybody has my sleep mask?" But I remember specifically asking, "Or is that inappropriate?" So I'm very concerned in my dreams, like, what's appropriate and what's not.
I feel like I'm the opposite in mine. Like that doesn't matter. Like anything goes in Janie land.
Yeah, so, it was very all over the place. Like I said, I think those were just kind of, like, jumping around dreams, but I just remember them all together because I didn't wake up.
Yeah.
And, so kind of the one thing like, the probably the most vivid part when you have a dream like this, the most vivid scene to me was the walking down that hill on Route 30 with snow and the Dairy
Mhm.
Queen. So,
Yeah.
as far as I think a lot of this was like a mind dump dream for sure. I don't know where the Dairy Queen came from. I went and got ice cream at one point. I don't know if it was before or after this, but like I said, G used to work at Dairy Queen. And you said you dream a lot about like your old jobs.
Mhm.
And I don't think I do. So that's what was funny when you said that I chose this dream to talk about. But I'll be more mindful of it now. Maybe I do. Um, So I just chose to kind of look up dream or snow. So snow, I looked on like about 3 different sources, annieflow.com, um, dreambible.com. I just kind of looked through a few and they kind of all had the same general meaning. It was like dreaming of snow can symbolize like a fresh start. It's like a
Mhm.
very positive, like a fresh start, a new beginning, a new stage in your life. Um, and then negatively, snow can represent like a harsh time or like an unpleasant time. Um, and you just need to kind of like stick it out and to let it pass, I guess, symbolizing like snow, like melting and stuff.
Yeah.
Melting snow can
There's
represent
a lot of
obstacles or
things.
fears that are dissolving. So,
When I looked up snow when I had that dream, that snow tubing dream, there was a lot of information about snow that I didn't know that was really gonna like come up.
right.
Like it would be like if the snow's dirty, if it's this way, if it's
Yeah.
clean, if it's that,
Yeah, I
and
think it depends much like water, the nature of how it is
mhm,
in your dream. Because I was looking up another one that was more of like in Chinese origin. Like, their interpretation of it, and it's very
yeah,
dependent on how the snow is present in your dream. Um,
yes,
and like we said, just like water. So I think in my case, it's like I was going to, so the snow is definitely an obstacle for me. So I kind of took it as, and I
mhm,
kind of hate snow in general in real life nowadays. It's pretty, but me and snow like don't get along now. So, I
yeah,
don't know if we ever did. I hate the cold. So, that's why I live in the beach now. So, um, I was, having to get through the snow to go to this job. So I don't know if it symbolizes like, obstacles in my current job and kind of just getting through this kind of phase to look for like more positive times. I don't really know. But that's just kind of how I took it a little bit.
oh no, I would definitely take that as an obstacle for you.
Yeah. And it was
I don't
interesting.
know like what the obstacle means or is, but I think the snow was an
Yeah, and it
obstacle.
wasn't, like, weirdly enough, so, like, me in real life, if I was just, like, going to start a random new job that, like, I do not feel qualified to do, like, right now, I think I would probably be terrible if I was, like, a waitress or of some kind or, like, working at Dairy Queen. Um,
Mhm.
I would feel much more comfortable going to work in a grocery store right now than going to work in, like, the food industry because 'cause I've never done that. So I would be like really anxious and nervous about it, but I was just even going through the snow in my dream, I was like pretty chill about it. Like I was like really excited to start this new job that I didn't even get to start. I was like really proud of it. And they didn't even let me do it. And then
You were late. You were late, and you were in the building, but you were late.
I'm like, Jesus, this girl's gonna talk to every customer for about 30 minutes. So
You're like, this doesn't
yeah,
gotta work that
which
way.
is what would happen to me in real life. So um and then yeah, I was very protective of those children for with
Mhm.
like the airplane landing like so close to them. I was like fearful they were gonna get run over by that like Airbus, I guess, whatever it was. Yeah.
Airbus. I like that.
Yeah. um and I don't know who they were for to have such strong feelings towards them. And this is like a recurring theme for me in my dreams is I'm like extremely protective of these children. Like I know them very well and I don't know who they are in real life like at all. Like I don't recognize
Mhm.
them. And they seem to be children like of minority. Like the more I'm thinking about it. So I mean that can be interpreted in several ways and it can be a very much a subconscious interpretation, you know. Um
You could also just be like, what's going on in the world right now with
Yeah, I
everything.
think that's probably what it
You
is.
want to
Yeah, I think that's probably what it is,
protect them more.
with, a
Mhm.
lot of, issues right now with race and kind of just kinda working through that and how to respond to it and, are you doing what you should do? Are you saying the right things? Are you doing your part? How much have you
Mhm.
contributed? Kind of that probably subconscious guilt and, like, wanting to be protective, so I think that's probably part of it, and then I don't know, it's just interesting to have such strong attachment towards total strangers in my dream.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, because that was I think the 3rd dream I had like that I can remember, and that was probably the other thing that really stood
Mhm.
out to me was, like, as far as, like, the vivid nature of what I remember, it was kind like, my attachment towards those kids.
Yeah.
So, it could be anything, you could even interpret that as, like, is it, like, maternal instinct? Is it like, me thinking about having a family? It's so it could I think go a lot of different directions.
Mhm.
So I'll pay attention to that more, moving forward if that's a recurring theme.
I wanna ask a personal question
hmm
too. Have you and Cam ever discussed about adopting?
A long time ago we have
Or nothing like
nothing
recently though?
recent, no.
Mhm.
I was kind of speaking about it with another couple more
Mhm.
fostering. So maybe that's at least in this. No, I don't think the relation's close enough, like, the discussion.
I gotcha.
No, that's
I'm
a
just
really
curious.
good
That's I just
thought, so I have to think about that more, kinda where that's coming from because, I mean, there was that dream, there was the dream where that child had some kinda transplant, and I was, like,
yeah.
very sad about because I thought I was losing him. Gosh, and I had another dream, and I think I had talked about it, and I think he was either, like, of Asian descent or, like, some Chinese, but again, it was, like, a different ethnicity than my own. Um, and I don't know if I specified that in the dream or not, because at the time, I didn't know if it was how it played in and if it was relevant, but now that I'm thinking about it, I think it is.
Sorry. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. Technical difficulties.
I don't even need these headphones.
Weird. So what are you
I don't
talking?
know. Okay.
You sound like you're talking through the microphone though.
I am talking through the microphone. It's just the sound is coming out of my computer.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
you know how like if someone walk in, like they couldn't hear you, but like they can hear you today.
Hmm.
It's weird. Let's see if I can end this good this time, guys. Episode 30. Let's go.
30-30.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Don't forget you can follow us on our Instagram, our Twitter at WTF Did I Dream Last Night. You can also follow us on TikTok. Support us on Patreon if you would like, and you can leave us a kind review. We would definitely appreciate that on Apple. It helps us out a lot.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for listening for our Dirty 30 here. And in a few weeks, we'll be doing our group Dirty 30. So I'm sure I have some great dreams from that. But this will be the only Dirty 30 you get for now. But thanks for listening. And until next time, happy dreams.